Hey everybody, Norman from His Nibs, and in this video we're going to take a look at one of Jinhao's latest offerings for 2024, and that's their 1935 model Tiandao. Tiandao basically means highway to heaven, pathway to heaven. The characters have other meanings in Taoist or Confucian history and thought, but that's the basic translation. And this is the pen, rather prominent gold star on the cap. Quite a unique design, and probably the most distinctive feature, or what people notice first, is this rather prominent clip, which everyone is referring to as a guitar clip. But is it? That and other questions will be answered as we take a closer look at this model, which comes in a bunch of different colors, of which I have a few to take a look at. The Jinhao 1935 Tiandao. Take a further look at the Jinhao 1935. I wanted to take a look at the 900 series again, because I just got a new one in stock. So, as you'll recall, we started with the 9019, very large and wide pen. In fact, so wide I can't even fit all of them in the slots in this pen case because they're just too wide. And then we went to the next out was the 9015, which is more of a mid-size pen, and finally the 9013, which is a little larger than a standard pocket pen. Well, what I got in the mail just a day or two ago was this new iteration of the 9019, which has a matte black clip and center band, which is also matte in feeling, and the coloration is a little bit translucent. Let me see if I can get a light behind this, but very dark charcoal or brown. What surprised me was that it came with a very plain Jinhao steel nib, and I wasn't expecting that. It might just have been the retailer I dealt with online, because if you'll recall, the original, let's take this demonstrator. The original nib that came with the 9019 was this quite attractive two-tone. These are number 8 size nibs, very large nibs. But that was followed by, let's take a look at this yellow one. I think this has the heartbeat nib on it. Yep. So rather than a conventional slit, you have the slit in the shape of a heartbeat. Very, very neat. So that was a little surprising to me. Anyway, some of the things that were carried over into the new Jinhao 1935 Tiandao is the very large number 8 size nib and the large high capacity converter, but we'll get to that in a second. So again, you have, this was the first one out, this color, which some retailers are referring to as Palace Museum Red. And I've subsequently got a black one, both cap and end cap, and what, again, some retailers are calling army green. All very attractive. But since they've come out with blue, white, both cap and end cap, and a real clear demonstrator, none of which I have at hand. What was interesting is the use of the star and the finial, quite reminiscent of the Chinese gold stars actually, yellow stars more particularly on the Chinese flag. A year or so ago, Hongdian came out with their 100 series commemorative pen, which is a piston filler, and that prominently displayed a red star on the finial. I guess they got some blowback about that, as far as people reacting perhaps to the Chinese Communist Party, or apparently a lot of people didn't like that initially. So the second iteration came with that discolored, as in decolored, finial star. It's still there, but no longer the red. So Jinhao, to my knowledge, is the second major Chinese pen maker to come out with that star. So a very unique looking pen, as you can see, with the musical instrument clip. Well, let's get to that next. Everyone is advertising and calling it a guitar, but you may notice it's not a 6-string. It is a 4-string. So actually it's closer to a ukulele than a guitar, but who cares? So the center pin says Jinhao 1935 and Tiandao. Tastefully and subtly done. I may do some close-ups with the macro lens interspersed within this filming, but I have the camera in such a position I'm not going to interrupt myself to do that now. So we'll see if I do it subsequently. The other very interesting, unique thing on this, and I believe this is I can't quite feel, it doesn't feel like a plastic feed. It really doesn't. It doesn't look like a plastic feed either. Well, we'll get back to that in a second. Distracting myself. Not the first time in history. The nib is engraved with 2 Chinese swords, cross swords, which is very attractive. And again, I think I'll do a macro look at that subsequently. It's as you can see, it's a piston converter, and undoing the barrel reveals first of all, the very beautiful and large piston converter, which was introduced in the 9019 and it's a screw-in converter for security. And this holds over 2 milliliters of ink, about 2.1 milliliters. So much larger than the converters that we've been used to for the last 40 or 50 years. And very smooth action. And I will be filling one of these, but not this red one, because I'm gifting this to my brother, my older brother Albert, tomorrow. And I want him to have the experience of filling it for the first time. So I won't be doing the red one. So what should we do? All right, let's do the black one. Now, initially, I was going to fill this with Pelican Turquoise, one of my personal favorite inks. But in honor of my brother and our family, I'm going to make a little change. I think I've mentioned innumerable times on videos that Boris Karloff, who played the original Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster, actually, and also played the original Mummy, both in the 1930s, is a distant cousin of our mother's family, because his real name was not Boris Karloff. He was an English actor. It was William Pratt, and our grandmother was Claire Pratt. So all that preamble is to say I think I'm going to use this Waringil or Waringle ink, the Mary Shelley Frankenstein, which also is a very, very nice color. So let me see. I can open this. Oh my God. There we go. Old Frankenstein gave me a struggle there. And I realized after all my setup here, I didn't include a writing pad. So I may have to use just regular paper. No, I'm not going to do that. Excuse me as I reach over for my writing slope and jiggle the camera. Nice little trip. And I'm sure I have a pad in the writing slope. Well, actually I don't have a His Nibs pad here, but I have a, what do I have? A Stipula writing pad, so that'll serve for the moment. And let me close the writing slope again and put that somewhat out of the way. All right. I haven't done a video in a couple of months, and it shows. I'm not as prepared as I should have been. Sitting in a squeaking chair, too, which you can probably hear. So, for those of you who are new to either pistons or cartridge converters, and a converter refers to the piston-like part of the filling system, because you can always remove the converter, the piston converter in this case, and put in a cartridge. And this will take international style cartridges, ink cartridges for travel. But we're going to fill it from the bottle. So the first thing that you do is you turn down the piston, forcing out air. You're going to dip the nib and the beginning of the section in the ink bottle, or in the ink rather. And yeah, it's pretty full. Like so, and then you're going to turn the piston clockwise, and you can see it sucking up ink. Now, if we wanted to fully fill this converter, we turn it down again, force that last little bit of air out, and then turn it clockwise again, and that will probably give us 100% fill. I'm not looking for that, and also I like to see a little of the ink sloshing around, which you don't get if you are totally filled. Don't want to spill this on Frankie. And we have a little shop vac here. Just ink and off the nib and off the section. And I still managed to get it on my fingers because I'm doing this behind a camera, or at least that's my excuse. And let us put back the barrel. Use some stipula paper to bear. And this is a medium nib on the black one. And smooth as all Jinhao pens have been in recent years. Very impressed with the nib work that they've been doing. And this is the Jinhao 1935 Tiandao. Getting all choked up. Tiandao. And this is this Frankenstein Mary Shelley ink is a very nice lavender or light purple. And that's about all she wrote. Literally, that's all she wrote. And I'd suggest taking a look at these 1935 Tiandao pens by Jinhao. And you can be the first to correct someone when they tell you it has a guitar clip. How many 4-string guitars do you know? And anything else I want to say? Boy, I'm really unprepared for this video, as you can hear. It's been months since I've done a video. Had a fall and broke some ribs and assorted other things, and sort of I've been off the video circuit for a while. Actually, waiting for a surprise pen coming within probably a week from my friend Britnam Lee at Asfine Pens. It's a new pen model, but even more exciting is a new nib, which he and I have been working on for a couple of months. So stay tuned for that. And yeah. Take care. Okay, again, sorry for the discombobulation in this video. I thought I'd do a little close-up with the macro lens. So here's the The new 9019 with the rather plain silver nib. It's fine. Looks good with the black. Then we have the two-tone colored Jinhao nib, which first came on the 9019. And then subsequently the heartbeat nib. There we go. You can see the slit is not a straight slit, but in the shape of a heartbeat. And initially I thought, this is never going to flow easily or properly. And I've never had a problem with any of them. They've been terrific. So those are the 9019s. And then getting back to the new model, give you some close-ups of the 1935 Tiandao. And hopefully you can see the number of strings there, which I didn't notice immediately. But when I saw it, I knew it wasn't a guitar. And cap band. And here we have the crossed swords, ancient Chinese swords, on the nib. So hopefully that let me grab this while I'm here. This is the Hongdian 100 that I briefly showed to you. Haven't done a review of this pen yet, but that's coming shortly. And the nib. So thanks for bearing with me through this video that wandered all over the place because I really don't remember what I'm doing anymore. Didn't even provide myself with a writing pad beforehand. So look forward to my next video, which hopefully will be a little smoother and will focus on that new Jinhao, I'm sorry, see, I'm doing it again. That new Asfine model I mentioned. New pen and new nib. Thanks much. See you soon.